The Thunder received some bad news last Friday when it was announced Kevin Durant will miss the rest of the season with a foot injury. The Thunder said in a statement that Durant will undergo bone graft surgery early next week in New York and is expected to resume basketball activities in 4 to 6 months. This will be Durant's third procedure on his right foot. And you got to start thinking about what this all means, just obviously for the Thunder, but for his career. This is a serious injury. At least it may seem to be that way. How concerned are you about his future, Skip?
I don't know for sure, Stephen A., but I'm going to say I'm pretty concerned about his future because obviously when you're dealing with a basketball talent of this stature and size, what do we say Kevin is, 6'10"?
6'10".
Yeah. So long. Now 3 surgeries on the same right foot. Yeah, you'd be crazy if you weren't concerned about his long-term health with that foot. Will it re-injure? Now, to Kevin's credit, he has found what I think is the best foot and ankle surgeon in America, Marty O'Malley in New York City, and that's who's going to do this bone graft. Why this bone graft wasn't done first, I don't know. Oh, nice. Now we're back to the cryptic, secretive, paranoid Oklahoma City Thunder organization. I don't know what's going on. Westbrook had some issues about, remember his first surgery for his medial meniscus? How do we do it? They want to do this, and he says no. He and his agent think, remember they went to, where was it, Aspen, Colorado to do the first surgery? It's always something with those two and their surgeries given what the team wants versus what independent doctors want. So I'm not sure about all the details of this. All I know is the bone graft should have been done first. Remember, they had to go in to try to redo the pin as a second procedure, and now we're on a third. And when you tell me 4 to 6 months, that's a serious surgery. And you can't know how you're going to come out of this after so much work has been done on your foot. If I know Marty O'Malley's reputation, I would bet on it. And I would bet however great the foot can be, it will be coming out of this 6 months from now. But long-term, pounding, jumping at 6 feet 10 inches tall, will it hold up? I don't know. I think you would have to raise a question mark here.
Well, this is one of those rare moments where being frail thin is coming to his aid.
Well, you're right. That's a good point.
If he had, 300-pound body, it would be even more significant. But on another note, notwithstanding, the purported treatment towards the Oklahoma City media by him and Russell Westbrook, I find Kevin Durant to be a great guy, an incredible ambassador for the game of basketball, and he is sorely missed because if Kevin Durant were healthy, with Oklahoma City having the parts that they have and playing the way that they've been playing, you can make a legitimate argument that they'd win the NBA championship. I mean, they would be that lethal. For him to play just 27 games this year, to average 26, 7, and 6, shooting 51% from the field, 40 from three-point range. It just shows you how lethal this man is. And he clearly wasn't healthy because he did it despite the fact that the injury had not completely healed. And so now we find ourselves in a situation where you're just looking at the future of Kevin Durant, and I'm very concerned about it but I tell you who should be even more concerned about it, Oklahoma City. Yeah. Because you see, Kevin Durant is not going to be finished. The likelihood, I'd like to believe, this is not a Yao Ming, this is not a Bill Walton situation, Andrew Toney from back in the 80s.
He was a little man.
That's right. Technology, but he was stocky. Yeah. Technology has evolved. It's definitely matured, and there's no question. So because of it, the chances are Kevin Durant will be back. But if you're Oklahoma City, he's approaching a contract year next season. And if this isn't done right, and we find ourselves revisiting this topic sometime next year, then Oklahoma City's going to have to make a decision as to whether or not they go. Because remember, Kevin Durant is a max player. Kevin Durant is considered universally as the second best player on the planet. So because of it, if you're Oklahoma City, you want this dude healthy, so the investment that you make, there's no question. But if there's a question mark as to whether or not he will ever recuperate, then they got to make a decision. And that's a hard call to make because this is Kevin Durant we're talking about here. Even if he came back next year and couldn't go and needed a year off, Are you Oklahoma? If you're Oklahoma City, do you justify not sitting here and re-signing this brother and keeping him on board? You know, it's a tough call because I can understand it both ways. And so even though it's his future to think about, somehow, some way, somebody will look at Kevin Durant and say he's worth the chance. But Oklahoma City may not be one that needs to do that or is willing to do it. Now, obviously, that's far off because it's only 4 to 6 months, which means he should be ready for next season. But the reason I bring that up, Skip, is because next year is the last year of his deal. And on top of it all, he isn't expected until next year. And if he comes next year and then he starts playing and he can't go, then it has to be revisited again. And you just never know. So my prayers are with him. Kevin Durant's a good brother, man. And I just want him to be all right because I miss seeing him out there.
Yep, so do I. But remember, our Tom Penn has already speculated that Sam Presti would be forced to trade him if Kevin wouldn't sort of verbally commit to staying long-term in Oklahoma City.
Well, that's fair.
By next year's trade deadline.
But actually, that does Sam Presti a favor because if Kevin Durant has an injury combined with the fact that he's non-committal as to whether he'd stay in Oklahoma City or not, then you're Sam Presti. You can justify whatever you decide to do with Kevin Durant. But if Kevin Durant says, I've thought about it over the summer, the fall arrives, I ain't going anywhere. I'm ready to re-sign with Oklahoma City, but he's not healthy. Boy, that's a tough spot for Sam Presti to be in.
So bottom line, what's your gut feeling, long-term health? You think will be decent chance he'll stay healthy?
I think so because he's not 300 pounds.
Yeah.
He's frail thin. He's rail thin, rather. And so because of it, I think that the weight that normally folks carry around, he does not. And me personally, I don't want to knock it. I'm not trying to, pass judgment against it. But those sneakers that I saw him wearing,
which sneaker? Which ones? His normal ones?
Kevin Durant. The sneakers that I saw him wearing last time he was on the court looked pretty damn cheap to me, I must add. I don't know what sneakers they were, but they were like canvas sneakers. They were low tops. I mean, look, man. I mean, we are in the age of technology and whatever.
He's wearing canvas low
tops.
It
looked like I said it looked like. Okay. Look at the TV. I'm not sure. Yeah. That's why I don't want to mention a name brand. I don't want to do anything. All I'm telling you
is that it? Look at this shot. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, no, not that shot. Not that shot right there. It was some white sneakers that he had on the bench when he went and took his shoes off. When he went and took his shoes off when his foot was hurting again, the last time he played, well, those aren't canvas, but they were low tops, and the other black ones that he had on as well. I mean, I walk around, those look like running shoes. I walk around with stuff like that. You can't be on a
You don't think he slipped on some old school Chuck Taylors just to walk around in?
You need something You need something a bit more secure. Yeah. Wrap that ankle more cushiony for the sole as well. You need all of that. Put some possible orthotics up in there. You got to protect your feet.
I'm sure sponsors are working on that right now.
They need to.
I'm sure they are.
They got to protect those feet.
Yeah. We obviously wish him well. It would be a disaster not to have him. Everyone weighing in on it. LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Paul, wishing him a speedy recovery and obviously get back to the league because the league needs you. We leave it there. Marcus Mariota is on the move in Todd McShay's latest mock draft. We'll tell you where he's headed, or so where Todd thinks he's headed, after the break. We'll be right back in just a few moments.